الله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We'll be discussing chapter 65, which is Surah Talaq in the Quran, revealed in Medina. It has 12 verses, and the hadith says, whosoever recites this surah, then man qara the problematic matrimonial breakdown, so you follow the guidance of the Prophet even in those difficult conditions, then yes, you will die on the sunnah of the Prophet and not bid'ah. Another hadith says the reward for reciting this surah and the subsequent surah Tahrim. Man qara'a Surah Talaq wa Tahrim fi faridah, but you recite them in the wajib prayer. أعاذه الله من أن يكون يوم القيامة ممن يخاف أو يحزن. Then Allah will protect this reciter on the day of judgment from being amongst those who will be fearful or who will be grieving. وعوفي من النار, and he will be protected from the fire of hell. وأدخله الله الجنة. قنيني لأنهما للنبي صلى الله عليه وآله. Protection from the fire, entry into hell, liberation from any grief or fear as a result of following the sunnah of the Prophet in all aspects of one's life. The surah has 12 verses. The first ayah talks about the rules of divorce. When should it start? How should it continue? When should it end? Ayah number 2 says, at the end now you have a choice. You can take her back, or no, you can have a final separation. Number 3 says, but if you trust in God, if you fear God, you'll be surprised how God will open up from His treasures in ways that are unexpected. Ayah number 4 says, but not all women whom you divorce may be in the reproductive age. Some are just beginners, some are towards the end of their reproductive life, they're into the menopausal stages. No, some are pregnant during divorce, so the rules that apply to these different types of women. Ayah number 6 says that, but during this time period, if they happen to be pregnant, then there are certain rules that apply. Expenses have to be paid, accommodation, food, and the payment for breastfeeding if the baby is born. And then how much should you pay? Well, it depends on your social economic status. Allah does not burden a people beyond their capacity. This is up till ayah number 7. Ayah number 8 to 12 now expands the discussion to a larger level and says that there have been many people in the past who have disobeyed God's laws. Example is talaq, but there's so many other laws applying to other areas of life, and then they suffer the defiance of divine commands. Ayah number 9, Allah makes them taste the consequences. So ayah number 10, beware of the punishment. Ayah number 11, in order to help us restrain ourselves from that which invites divine wrath and punishment, we're told Allah has sent a messenger and his messages are being recited to you regularly, and if you follow them, they will remove you from a state of darkness, of hatred, of disunity, and bring you to a stage of enlightenment and unity. Ultimately, ayah number 12 ends by saying, no, the commands of God which you need to follow in your family life, in all other areas of life. You know who has set up those commands? The Master of the universe. You know why Allah has created the universe, the 7 heavens and the 7 earth? There's a purpose, and that purpose is to learn the power of God, to know and appreciate and acknowledge and be awed by the grace and the mercy and the knowledge and the wisdom of God. That is the ultimate purpose of creation. Be it in a small family life, be it in the bigger social life, be it at the global, universal level. This is a quick outline of the surah. Ayah number 1 talks about the specifics of talaq. When should it begin? When should it end? What should be done during the period of the beginning of the talaq and the end of talaq? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya ayyuhan nabi, O Prophet, إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن. If you have reached a stage, O Prophet, if you people have reached a stage where now you have decided to divorce your women, then you must do it in the prescribed way at the prescribed time. You can't divorce anytime you want. The iddah should be observed, meaning that in the Sharia, if a person wishes to divorce, they can't pronounce the divorce privately. It has to be in the presence of witnesses. They can't pronounce the divorce when they have shared the marriage bed with the wife. They can't pronounce the divorce till she waits and enters her next monthly period. And then she have to wait till she starts her period of purity. That's when the pronunciation of talaq is valid. So, طَلِّقُهُنَّ لِعِدَّتِهِنَّ. Wait. The iddah has to start. The iddah can't start at any time you want. There is a prescribed period. Hold on. Cool down. Wait. You have enjoyed and shared the marriage bed in this month. Wait till the next month. So notice how the rules of talaq are such that they force the individual to calm down, to slow down. And incidentally, notice the ayah says, O Prophet. The ayah is addressing the Prophet. When you people want to divorce, not the Prophet, when you people, meaning the mu'mineen, that means, O Prophet, deliver the message to the mu'mineen. I don't want to talk to them directly. This is not good. What are you doing? I'm not talking to you directly. I'm talking to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You deliver the message to these people who wish to break their family. If it's unavoidable, but there are rules, please observe them. Or incidentally, you want to divorce women, if you want to divorce, this is how you should start. No, the address is to the men. In the Islamic Sharia, the right to initiate the divorce is with the husband, not with the wife. There was an interesting study conducted in 2015, sometimes in August, University of Stanford, professor of sociology. He looked at about 2,000 plus heterosexual families and found out that in order to find out who is the one who initiates the divorce. Incidentally, the divorce lawyers in the United States, they already knew. Most of the cases were brought to them by the women, by the wives. But now a study was conducted, and he discovered that 2/3 of the cases, 65, 66%, it was women who were initiating the divorce, generally. But in one specific group, 90% of the divorces were being initiated by the women, the college graduates. The Quran is saying the right of divorce is that of the husband, not of the wife. So when you have reached a decision that you want to start the divorce process, you must start it at the right time. وَأَحْصُوا الْعِدَّةِ. So once you have started at the right time, when you have not shared the marriage bed and she's already pure from the monthly periods, then start counting, calculating. This is very important, that for 3 monthly periods, the iddah has to be observed. In Surah Baqarah, the Quran says that وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوء. Those women for whom the divorce formula has been pronounced, they straight away don't separate. They have to wait 3 monthly periods. And there's a reason for that. وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَهُنَّ أَن يَكْتُمْنَ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ فِي أَرْحَامِهِنَّ. It is not right for them, in case they happen to be pregnant, to hide the pregnancy from the husband. The right of paternity belongs to the father. It's not that she hides and quickly separates and then claims, I got pregnant from another man after the separation. So one of the reasons for iddah is paternity rights have to be respected. وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ أَحَقُّ بِرَدِّهِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ إِنْ أَرَادُوا إِصْلَاحًا. In case the husband wishes to reunite, then instead of this divorced woman getting married to some other man, it's better for her, if in case she's planning to get remarried, that the same husband remarries her during this period of iddah without any new nikah. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu the talaq has begun but not ended. She is still in her iddah period. She must still be provided for, given shelter, accommodation. She's almost half a wife. And in case if she dies, you, the husband, inherit her. Vice versa. If you die, she, the divorced woman in iddah but not separated and not completed the iddah, will inherit from you. She's almost half a wife yet. So the iddah has to be observed for 3 monthly periods, and there is hikmah in that. Several goals are served in that. But it's not easy, because the reasons for separation, maybe there is dislike, there is hurt, there is hatred, God forbid, there is hostility. It's difficult sometimes to observe these rules. So the next part of the ayah says, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ رَبَّكُمْ. You must fear and respect the law of God. Sababu, He is Rabbakum. He is your master, He is your provider. He knows your psychology. Forget Him. Shaitan knows our psychology much better than we do ourselves. He's the oldest psychologist alive. He knows the weaknesses of individuals. He knows when to press which button in the husband and the wife to bring about the process of separation. Allah is your Rabb. Rabbakum. And therefore, during this period of iddah, 2 important rules must be observed. Taqwa of iddah is La tukhrijuhunna min buyutihinna. You have no right to evict her. You must leave this house. No. The talaq has been pronounced, but she's still half a wife. She must continue to be provided for shelter in whichever house or chamber in the house you have designated for her shelter. وَلَا يَخْرُجْنَ. And she herself also has no right to leave the house by herself, unless it's an exceptional situation where it's intolerable. إِلَّا أَن يَأْتِينَ بِفَاحِشَةٍ مُبَيِّنَةٍ. She has committed an open act of gross immorality and indecency, and God forbid, maybe there's adultery, or no, fahisha, she speaks abusive language, hurtful to the husband, hurtful to the in-laws, and therefore intolerable for her to continue to stay in the house during that time period. Then no problem, you can evict or she can leave. Otherwise, she must stay and you must keep her. Oh, but it's difficult, I don't like her. No, tilka hududullah. These are limits prescribed by God. وَمَنْ يَتَعَدَّ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ فَقَدْ ظَلَمَ نَفْسَهُ. I don't want it. I know there's God's law, but I don't want it. Allah. You decide to break. I know it's God's laws, but I don't want to follow. Do you know that by kicking her out, you're not hurting her primarily. You're hurting yourself primarily. Secondarily, she gets hurt. Before she gets hurt, you are hurting yourself. How so? فَقَدْ ظَلَمَ نَفْسَهُ. You've done dhulm to your nafs. How so? I always like to give the example of smoking. Smoking, the smoker puffs out, and the passive smoker, innocent bystander or associate, has to inhale that smoke. Before you hurt others, you hurt yourself. So before you kick her out, I will show you. You've already shown yourself, first of all, the hurt and the damage. And the ayah ends by saying, there's one higher reason for the iddah. You're emotional, you're angry, you are hurt, and therefore you've made your decision. No, wait, cool down, slow down. لا تدري لعل الله يحدث بعد ذلك أمرا. Perhaps God will change the hearts and bring about reunion from an avenue or from a situation that you never imagined. Trust God. Let's pray to Allah to get tawfiq, to be able to understand the laws that rule family life and family separation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.